Today on Acupuncture Masterclass, I'm going to walk you through 3 different location methods for locating stomach 36, one of the most popular points in Chinese medicine. Let's take a look. Stomach 36, arguably one of the most popular points in traditional Chinese medicine. However, many location errors are made, particularly by students. Today I'm going to walk you through these 3 location methods and show you which ones I like and which ones I don't. Let's take a look. And don't forget, if you're struggling with acupuncture point selection, take my Acupuncture Point Selection Mastery course today. In 5 simple steps, I show you how to find more clinically effective points faster and easier than you ever thought possible. Click the link in the description below and take the course today. So, 3 different ways to locate the extremely popular point of stomach 36. First things first, patient setup. I do prefer a little bit of a pillow underneath the knee. You do want a little bit of a bend here. It just makes it a little bit more comfortable for the patient when being needled, and it allows to kind of locate some of these anatomical landmarks a little bit easier. So I do like a little bit of a pillow. Make sure that you have some in your clinic space. The next thing that we absolutely need to go through, particularly to find the first kind of location technique for stomach 36 is some anatomical landmarking. And the primary anatomical landmarks we need: lateral malleolus, so very tip of the lateral malleolus, not the top of the malleolus, which a lot of people tend to do, but the actual tip, so the highest point of that lateral malleolus. We have that as one anatomical landmark at the bottom. And at the top, we're going to be using our tibiofemoral joint space. Now, if you're having trouble finding the tibiofemoral joint space, use the patella. So the patella, located right here, if you're just on the inferior border of the patella and palpate medially, you should feel a very nice little gap. So a nice little gap here indicating the space between the tibia and the femur. And of course that gap continues on the lateral side, not as pronounced, but you still can feel that space between the tibia and the femur on the lateral side as well. But that is your top mark for the distance that we're looking for. So use the patella, get comfortable with that tibiofemoral joint space. It's going to come into play for other things. So get comfortable with your palpation around the knee here. So now that we have our tip of the lateral malleolus and we have the tibiofemoral joint space, that distance, as most of you should know by now, is 16 Cun on the lateral side here. So 16 Cun on the lateral side. Stomach 36 is located 3 Cun below the tibiofemoral joint space, or what you'll notice in most of your books is 3 Cun below stomach 35, which when the knee is bent, you will be right on the tibiofemoral joint space for stomach 35, but a little bit of a bend in the knee makes that a little more accurate. So stomach 35 or the tibiofemoral joint space here, but 3 Cun below is our stomach 36 location. So what I like my students to do is to take that 16, divide it in half for 8, divide 8 in half for 4, divide 4 in half for 2, and then come down 1 for 3. So in this area, we have stomach 36. Now, to find out how far lateral you need to go, you need to use a finger breadth. And a finger breadth is essentially the distance across the index finger here. So 1 finger breadth, and what you want to do is just have the the border of your finger just on the crest of the tibia, and where the other side of the finger lands is where stomach 36 will be. That is 1 finger breadth across. A major location error that a lot of my students tend to make is they go way too lateral from the crest of the tibia. It's almost like they press like this and then they put stomach 36 way over here on the side. It's a little bit closer to the anterior part of the leg. So make sure that you stay close to that anterior part of the leg and don't creep on gallbladder channel, which is on the lateral side over here. So once again, 16 Cun to 8 to 4 to 2 and to 3, 1 finger breadth away, stomach 36, just like that. It's that easy, but I do prefer my students to use this Cun measurement location technique first. Get comfortable with the Cun measurements before you start using more advanced techniques for location for stomach 36. The second method that a lot of people use, and you will probably see a lot of this, especially at school, is the hand method. So across the knuckles here, this distance, as long as your hand is the same size as your patient's, your distance here will be 3 Cun, which is a wonderful number to use. So you put the 3 Cun at the top with stomach 35 up here, and where things end up below is going to be 3 Cun, and stomach 36 located just like that. Seems pretty easy, but I see a lot of mistakes with this. I do prefer the Cun measurement first. So learn the Cun measurement method first. Use this method as a check, just to make sure that you're close. Because if your stomach 36 ends up way down here, you can think, maybe I got my Cun measurements wrong. So make sure that this is more for just a check to make sure that you're in the right ballpark for your point. But don't only use this method, as I find people make mistakes with that quite a bit as well. So that is your second method of locating stomach 36. The final method that I like to teach people, more intermediate to an advanced method, is to palpate along the lateral border of the tibia. So palpating up, going all the way up, and then all of a sudden the tibia starts to push you lateral. Starts to really go lateral like this. And once that begins to happen, right tucked in that spot, just underneath where the bone starts to travel laterally, is your stomach 36 location. Now this is a method that I generally like to use. I will easily, roll up and just fall into that space on most people. But again, I do prefer people to learn the Cun measurement distance first, get comfortable visualizing those distances before you start using some of these more advanced techniques like this palpation technique up the tibia. But it is definitely one that you should strive towards and get comfortable with in the future. A wonderful method for locating stomach 36. Needling is perpendicular to the skin surface, so just like so, quite deep, 1 to 1.5 Cun easily when it comes to this particular point. So, and it's nice to warn patients, it's a pretty interesting feeling getting stomach 36 needled. Deep, achy soreness, not uncommon for patients to feel quite a bit when it comes to stomach 36. So a great point, said to treat all diseases in Chinese medicine. I don't know if that's the case personally, but I think it's an interesting idea to put into context in Chinese medicine theory. So stomach 36, 3 different ways. Learn them all, get comfortable, and you'll never miss this point again. I want to thank you again for joining me today. I hope you picked up a few interesting tips about locating stomach 36. In the meantime, stay tuned with Acupuncture Masterclass. Check out the website. I've got a new blog going for acupuncturemasterclass.com. Like, subscribe, share the videos as much as you can, and thanks again for coming.